It's second reading and public hearing of capital ordinance 1811 appropriating $10,000 from the general capital improvement fund. $100,000 from the general capital improvement fund for preliminary costs related to the improvements at the Scotch Rite.
All right, so there's a cafe grant, the Cultural Arts Facilities Expansion Program that is statewide and open for a second round of opportunities to apply for this grant. We have been told that there's still over $240 million available that has not been assigned, that has not been awarded. So, given the history and the role of the Scotch Rite in the town, and the gigantic costs of what it would take to make it ADA compliant, to replace the seats, to really give the building the care that it deserves. We're approving the idea is to approve money so that we can apply to this grant. That money goes towards things like a market study that you have to apply for the grant, as well as a new appraisal, and those are very, very expensive. So that's what this money was going towards. Again, this is the second reading, so this is your chance to talk about anything about this cafe grant application. Anybody has any comments?
Commissioner Mel?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley?
Yes.
Mayor Solana Wood.
Yes.
Read the second reading of public hearing of ordinance 1812, adopting amendment to the redevelopment plan for the borough of Collinswood, 101 West Putnam Boulevard.
All right, so here is the pool supply store that's right on Hufford and Atlantic. That blue building has been vacant for I think almost 3 years now. This would change the zoning to allow this, because even though there was a pool supply store, it was not zoned for that. So a business would need a variance in order to be able to conduct business on that property, which we've been told has made it very difficult to move that property that is on two very busy intersections. And we think this would help move it and turn it into something that could benefit the community. So it's a change into the redevelopment plan to allow business to come into that property. This went for the planning board, the July 28th meeting, and was met with, you know, their approval and their comments. This is the second reading of this. This is a chance for public comment if anybody has anything to say on this ordinance.
So it's currently just on the residential for.
No, not even pools up, just residents.
And they have an exception for the shop, so this would open it up to.
Commissioner Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley?
Yes.
Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
We have the first reading of ordinance 1813 to subdivide borough of Collinswood property located at 627 Haddon Avenue.
Back to the Ocean Bank property. When the borough purchased this property with the idea that it's going to be developed, and the idea that we're going to hold on to something. So we need to subdivide it so that the borough will retain ownership of the parking lot. And if you look in the agenda for tonight, you'll see a map of what it looks like as part that will continue to belong to the borough. And then the other section is where the 9 condos, and then the retail on the bottom would be this. So this is a plan to cut that lot into. And the second reading will be in
September 2nd.
September 2nd.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday because of Labor Day.
Commissioner Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley?
Yes.
Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
So, now we have public comment on the resolutions. Appointing Laura Starver to the Collinswood Health Services Advisory Board.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure, okay, so. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We opened up the Board of Health, Commissioner Henderson Riley stepped down from her role on the Board of Health. and we opened it up to the community. We had 10 applicants, all extremely qualified. We were lucky to have Laura, who has been here since 2020. She's a PhD in nursing from Johns Hopkins, she's an assistant professor at UPenn Nursing School, in the Department of Family and Community Health. She has 15+ years experience and over 20 peer-reviewed publications, half of which I would love to read if I had one. So we want to thank her as well as the other 9 applicants for applying to this, and hopefully, once we're not selected, we can still find some faith in our community for their volunteer efforts. So. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right, so.
Appointing Megan Bucknell to the Collins Planning Board.
Yes.
Yes.
Reappointing Edward Foreman to the, I'm sorry.
I know. Alright, so. We're appointing Megan Bucknam for a short term, until the end. We had someone step down for personal reasons from the planning board, and we had 16 applications, all extremely qualified, very thorough. Ultimately, Megan holds a master's in urban planning and development from the University of Virginia, and she's currently a professor at Rowan in the Department of Geography, Planning, and Sustainability. So we're very happy to have her on board and to see the enthusiasm from the rest of our community for these roles. So, and
Reappointing Edward Foreman to the construction department as electrical inspector and electrical subcode official on an as needed basis.
yes,
Reappointing. Adopting the 2025 business improvement budget and.
yeah, this is the budget for the business improvement district, which was also added to the agenda. Full budget, so if anybody's any questions, that's the money that the businesses pay to do things like promote our businesses, through different advertising strategies, do things like next Saturday, so that,
This should be a roll call vote. Commissioner Manley,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley,
yes,
Mayor Solomon Moore.
yes.
Authorizing a resolution of support to the Foundation of the Arts for the 2025 Cafe Grant application. This is on the way.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Approving a co-op agreement with Camden County and award a contract to New Energy Inc.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Approving a co-op agreement with Cherry Hill Township for the 2025 emergency maintenance repairs and modification of infrastructure facilities and equipment.
Yes.
Authorizing assignment of agreement of sale and a redevelopment agreement and appointing the redeveloper for the property located at 627 Haddon Ave.
Yes. Yes.
Preparing an ordinance for the subdivision of Borough Collinswood and property to the Borough Collinswood for 627 and the Borough Collinswood Planning Board for 627 Haddon Ave.
Yes.
Approving the grace period for taxes, water and sewer.
Yes.
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 Supporting the Climate Superfund Act.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. So, this, Climate Superfund Act is a resolution that was brought to us by members of the community, so thank you for that. This talks about the impact of, large businesses on the climate. We would send a copy of this resolution to elected leadership across the state, talking about the impacts of climate and how important it is for us to acknowledge the role of corporations.
Approving raffle license 2025 and 2025-13 Collinswood High School Bandits.
Yes.
Yes. And approving the payment of bills as presented by the treasurer.
Yes. Oh, there's no way to public comment. Now we read all the resolutions. I know sometimes it's hard to make your public comments on the resolution before you hear what they are. So we're gonna give you one more chance if anyone has any comments on the resolution you're invested in on the thing. Oh, yes, sir.
I just have a, excuse me, my name is Larry D. Giovanni. It's got a great spirit. What is the great spirit? How long are you saying the great spirit is past in the world?
September 15th.
Okay. But I know we answer questions, so I just want to clarify.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, so the protected water and sewer,
September 15th.
September 15th.
Okay.
Right.
Sure. I just want to touch, it's not exactly public works, but kind of a carryover from earlier in the year is, tax bills will be hit over this, over the next few weeks. And I just want to remind everyone that the borough, budget, for this year was kept flat. Earlier in the year when the school was going through their financial issues and made some decisions about the direction they were going, the borough's budget was revised so that we made some cuts and cut it back so that it's flat. So there's no increase for the borough budget and municipal services. And those bills should be coming in a couple weeks. I know you're all anxious to get it. That's it. Well, Pocket Park is getting close to being finished up. We should be, I don't know if we've scheduled, the beginning of September.
It's
doing
scheduled
it.
for
What's
September
that?
sixth,
We have scheduled.
Yeah,
September 6th, we're doing opening.
Okay, we're gonna do it, we'll be able to do lots of press about it, but. Yeah, finally get.
September 6th, get excited, everybody.
Nope.
Sure, I have several that I'd like to share. So as mentioned, the New Jersey Climate Super Fund Act is thanks to residents who brought that to our office hours. So a reminder about office hours, if you'd like to talk to the members of the governing body, we welcome their input. In addition, some residents brought the idea for changing stations to us for schools. So many thanks to Public Works for the new changing station as a parent of 3 young kids. I want to shout out a few events that happened this past month and that are coming up. First, I'd like to say congratulations to the Junior Police Academy. It was really a pleasure to attend the graduation last Friday. So there were nearly 50 young people. The department just listed some photos today. They're great. They learned a lot about surveying and working with our community. So shout out to EJ Chris Rogers, lead instructor, Sergeant Jacoby, drill instructor, special officer Dugan, and Chief Gary for their leadership. If you don't know about this program, it really is fantastic. This is the 4th year of the Junior Police Academy. They started with just 6 young people, and this year nearly 50. Absolutely fantastic week. So be sure to check out those pictures online. Congrats again. This Saturday, August 9th, is second Saturday. It's from 4 to 8 p.m. featuring our small businesses and a summer sidewalk sale. Information is on the borough's media channels. In addition, next weekend, August 16th and 17th, is the Crafts and Fine Arts Festival, a very popular event, so be sure to check that out. We have lots of great library programming, of course, and still movies in the park. This week is one of my kids' favorite movies, Matilda. We have several new businesses that have opened, and several more ribbon cuttings coming soon. So that's just one example. Had Connection opened in the month of July, which is a fantastic business. So be sure to check them out. And we just mentioned the September 6th Pocket Park. There will be a plan for a mural there, which is to be determined and coming from the borough, but artists and creatives in town. There is going to be information about a mural, which is exciting. I hope everyone got their copy of the town crier. You would have seen that there is a staff spotlight, which we'll be doing for the time being, future issues, highlighting the wonderful work of our borough employees. So be sure to check out that first one featuring Bob Hastings. Then a shout out to Lindsay and Communications. We are ordering new equipment for these meetings. So to the experience that you can hear, as well as the online experience. We know that not everyone is available to make it in person or to view on, at the moment online. So we want to be able to have you watch those recordings. And then finally, folks who know me or getting to know me, know that one of my goals, and our goals as your governing body is to increase civic engagement and participation. So I have 3 ways. we can get involved. The first is that, Chief Perry's Police Chiefs Advisory Committee is still looking for members. That application is available online and is open through the end of August, August 30th. So if you're interested in policing and community policing, please be sure to apply. Secondly, a fan favorite, the Snowball Gala is looking for some volunteers. Namely, Lindsay Ferguson is looking for volunteers for fundraising and the decor committees. So if you're interested in decorating stuff right, municipal funds. Right to Lindsay. And then finally, we are looking to potentially have digital and social media intern with the borough throughout the academic year. So if you know young people who are interested in communications and working with the private staff, please reach out with them. Thanks.
The feedback on Welcome Impact Connection today, in fact, Impact Connection is run in partnership with JEVS, the Independence Network of Homes. So that's 35, give or take, adults with disabilities, and JEVS works on helping be a resource for them so they can live independent lives. What they open today with their phones. So you're gonna go in and you see arts and crafts that you can do, like sand art. You can buy a box of arts and crafts and paint something right there. They have 2 wonderful tables. I went there with 5 children on Thursday. Only 2 of them were mine, but I was there with 5 kids, and they were painting for an hour and a half. One thing. But as you keep walking back in the building, they have a barn door, and back there is their clubhouse. They have a full kitchen. They have a big kitchen table. They have a gigantic lounge sofa and a television. And here they have events every week. They have a week where they make dinner together. It's a space for community, and they opened it today. It was a wonderful event to be at, and when you hear these families that have lived all over New Jersey, some in Pennsylvania, and then they came to Collinswood, and why JEVS identified Collinswood with Jim, I think we started like 3 years ago. They identified Collinswood because of its walkability and because of its community, and it felt like a welcoming place for these adults to continue living their lives in independent fashion. So this is really the fruition of many years of work. And I think speaks volumes to our community that they felt welcome, and I really hope we can get things looking all in the way. Whether we're shopping in front or just recognizing how important speaking of that is. So Amy mentioned some ribbon cuttings, Chatterbox coming up on Friday. So your charm bracelets, that's the spot for the charm bracelets. I cannot wait to go and nose around and see what I'm Jim mentioned the taxer will be arriving. There will be a letter from the commissioners with more information, more resources. In September, when school starts, I will be holding office hours at Borough Hall. There's some stairs to get to. I will come down to you if mobility is an issue. In our shared office, and they'll be from 10 to 12 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I very much want to have evening office hours, but there's some logistics to figure out there. So please stay tuned for 1 day a week that I'll be available from 6 to 8. For people who are not available in the mornings because most of them. If you want to discuss what happens like this tax bills and any other matters, so please take into that. Oh, public comment. Yes, now we have. Sorry. So now, any of you would like to make any comments, any questions, any address? For myself.
Just your name and address. All right.
You talked about the clubhouse, where is it located at?
It's in the back part, so it's all on one floor. And when you walk through, there's like a barn door that separates the business in the front and then the back half of the
You have
building.
what's the address?
Oh, 713, 714, Haddon Ave.
Okay.
Now, it's about C. like to congratulate you all. This all kind of really come sit on my coat. And it's a different. A lot. School is going. But I think we have to become more effective for this slow down. Especially around. It's got to the point where I feel like factory drastic and it's and it just it's speeding going beyond the you can see that hear that from the so when you have walls that are not taken into account, become walls and everyone is speeding around the corners, stops. I know Collins Avenue is a town road, and it's up to the county to try and enforce signage, I believe. So, it's 25 area and but if people don't come to that, before school, somehow, you have to speed on the road. And you can feel people going ahead of you, if they're going 45 miles an hour. So, don't do that. We're not going to do that. Sometimes it's worse than different. We don't need to stop to go down the problem. Sometimes we have to have.
Tom Melvin, 530 Manhattan Avenue. Saw a news story on Facebook about the water treatment facility and curious as to where the land safety is going.
So there's a lot of different phases of improving to the water system installed. It begins with new state and then federal regulations about kind of PFAS. And it's been going on for about 2 years now, where our plants, there's two basic treatment plants. One, our main plant is down. And we installed, when those regs came out, temporary measures, and that's been done. We've been now in the process of doing permanent fixes. Part of the work on the Conley Avenue is about to get started. On the redo of the entirety of the water plant. At the pool, we're about to start the design process of that. We're working on securing funding for it.
Where is that coming from?
There's a little bit of federal money, a little bit of state money, there's some money available for the design of the water plant. The majority of the money though is going to be through what's called the infrastructure bank, the state infrastructure bank. Used to be called the environmental, used to have a different name, now it's called the infrastructure. But what that basically is that the state has a separate authority that takes in the request for building water plants from a lot of towns in the state, bundles them all into a big bond issue. And then to get a lower rate, and then lends that money back to the towns. And with some other money that they get from the federal government, they very often make those loans 50% loan, 50% grant. Okay. So we're in line for infrastructure bank financing, progressing along. It's I was a young man when we started. It's a slow, laborious process. But we're in the middle of it. We're pushing hard on it. Know that the water system as it's operating applies with all the standards. All the water is safe. We implemented temporary measures 4 or 5 years ago. Now we're working on the bigger permanent investment to make it to upgrade all the plants.
And they were out at the pool this past Thursday. Mark, if you saw, if everybody happened to be at the pool on Thursday, there was someone out there in a vest and some pretty cool equipment that all the boys between 4 and 7 were just like, what's that? But out marketing to start doing the plan for when you're applying for this funding, you can show what the new. Or would it-
Hi, my name is Maya D'Andrea, and I live at 105 Ninth Ave over in Haddon Heights. And I'm here tonight speaking on behalf of Highlands Preservation Alliance, an environmental nonprofit that I've been interning for the summer. And tonight specifically, I'm here to talk about the Green Amendment. For those who aren't familiar, it's a pretty incredible piece of environmental legislation. It's a state constitutional amendment that's already been passed in Pennsylvania, Montana, and New York. It's been proposed in New Jersey, but the Senate is continuously blocking its hearing and the ability for it to go on a referendum in the state of New Jersey. Just generally, what the amendment does is it puts an individual's environmental rights on par with their civil, political, and human rights as constitutional guarantees. So it gives the individual, not any party, every individual, the right to healthy air, clean water, and a healthy environment overall. And especially in a political climate where the change of an administration can mean that environmental policies are stalled, reversed. It's really important to have a constitutional amendment safeguarding any piece of environmental legislation that comes before it and everything that's going to come after it. So I know especially with Collingswood passing the Climate Superfund resolution, what the Green Amendment would do is protect this if anything was to happen. It's a safeguard, a protection plan for any piece of environmental policy. And our ask, Highlands Preservation Alliance, to you, which has been the same to many other municipalities in the area, is to pass a resolution of support in favor of the Green Amendment. Burlington County as a whole has already done it. Camden County announced the other night following our presentation at the Camden County Commissioners meeting that they will be doing the same at their August meeting. Bordentown has recently passed a resolution of support, and we're hoping that the other towns we visited and spoken to will be doing the same in the coming months. So our hope is that by specifically having towns and counties put pressure on New Jersey state legislature, the senators will bring it to a hearing and it will go up for a vote. So we would really appreciate any support that Collingswood can give us in this matter, and I'd be happy to send a follow-up email with more information, copies of the resolutions, everything like that.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Great job.
Thank you very
Great job.
much.
Thank you.
You can be an intern, Paul.
Yes, yes. One thing I'm curious about is, when you go to other towns, the school yards tend to be open, and I understand that Collingswood, I guess it's out, they call it this lot after school hours. And I just was wondering, how realistic is that to make that more community space, and is there like a reason that's a common specific on?
So it's actually in our master plan, the 1999 master plan had that as one of the recommendations of the way to, have more community space. I think there's a history there as to what's on that board that I'll be honest, I'm not totally privy to. But I think it's, especially since we only have our night park playground, these are the ones that are closer to, and I think it's on our minds. It's what happens to operating schools. It's not our property, it's not our property here. But I think it's something we're pursuing. And I thank you for bringing it to this box.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.